Peace, fellas. It's your boy Drew Skywalker, straight from IG, just as promised. And I'm following up on my series about the masculine edge and how having that masculine edge is your only true savior in this life as a man. And the way I came upon this series was from another one that I did when I was talking about the dark reality of being an attractive man. It's pinned at the top of my IG right now. So if you ain't seen it, if you don't follow me, go check that out ASAP. But I did 3 videos in that series, and they were titled. Well, the first one was just the dark side of being an attractive man. The second one was the butterfly in the jar, and the third one was the man in the arena. And going through each part in the first video, I was talking about how being a truly attractive man is about becoming self-actualized. It's about your internal world, about your internal makeup, who you are deep down. Not really so much about your good looks or how handsome you are, your genetics, what you got, what you've accumulated in life. It's really about what's underneath, what's under the hood. And when I pointed that out, I also went on to say that when you better yourself, when you really realize who you are and you start to build off of that, it's some weird things that come with it that you wouldn't expect. Like I talked about how you get less women because women get intimidated by you. They know that it's a certain level of respect that'll have to exist for them to be in your space. They know it's a certain amount of work that'll come with being in your space. So they shy away from dealing with you. They may even come experience it for a little while, might even sleep with you, do anything, but then they'll disappear because they don't want to maintain that level of duty that comes with being in your space. You'll create silent enemies, like I talked about, because a lot of these guys would never take the journey of self-actualization because they're so stuck to the lower levels of life, like lust and greed and wanting to satisfy these urges in themselves that they can't see. I think the saying goes, they can't see the forest because of the trees. They can't see what life is truly made up of because they can only see the individual aspects, so they can't see the connection. And because of that, now they become enemies of yours. Not because you did something wrong, not because you got any animosity towards them. It's because they build a natural resentment in themselves for you. And it's really not about you, it's about what you represent. Because just like you represent the higher side of life, they represent the lower side of life, but they could easily be in your position if they did the work to do it. But they resent you because you took the time to do the work. And as weak as that is, as lame as that is, that's just how some dudes rock. And it is what it is. Like the truly attractive man knows that that's a real thing, you know what I'm saying? So he's always on point about watching his surroundings, watching who he lets into his space, male or female. And going further on top of that with the silent enemies, the reason why it's so many of those is because people misunderstand you so much as that truly attractive man. And the misunderstandings are intentional because they could easily look at who you are and just come to you for guidance, for advice, to see how they can replicate it in their own lives. But they don't want to do that because it's you. You know, whatever proximity they have to you, you may be, y'all may work in the same area, you might just live in the same area, frequent the same spots, you know, you around the same women, whatever it may be. So instead of asking you what you did and kind of following your footsteps, they would rather just be in opposition to you. And that's a natural thing in men because it's a very hard thing for a man to admit that he don't know what he's doing in any regard. You know, like we used to see on the TV shows with a dad driving and he obviously don't know where he's going, but he refused to look at the map that his wife and kids are offering him, you know, just because that's the pride that comes with being a man. We want to feel like we competent, that we know what we're doing. And it plays out in this specific example, like I said, like these men can't admit that they could level up in life if they just took some advice from you, or just if they were just more like you. You know what I'm saying? And a truly attractive man, he don't even be sweating it for real, because it's like you kind of know it come with it. Because like I'll talk about in a second, when you go through that journey of getting over your own ego, getting over your own internal obstacles, you start to learn that other men, like everybody going through that, but you realize that some men will never get over that hump. So they'll always be in opposition to you. And the better you get, the more opposition they'll be in. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a bigger gap being created, but it's also a bigger light being shined on them and their shortcomings. And that's where what we're talking about today, the masculine edge starts to come into play. Because even with the women, with silent enemies, either side of those where they just misunderstanding you, the masculine edge is what's going to help you maintain what you've built in that internal world, no matter what. Because you're keeping your character, keeping your integrity, keeping everything in order. Because you're not looking for validation. You're not looking for anybody to accept who you are. You just are. You're just being. So you know it's coming from an authentic place. So you kind of on some like take it or leave it type stuff with the women. You like this the world I built. Like this how it goes. Like it's my way or the highway. So you can come in and enjoy the benefits if you're down to stay and do the work. But if not, cool. Like be gone. Like you know what I'm saying. Like one monkey don't stop no show. Like you ain't finna redecorate in here in my life because I built this. You know what I'm saying? Like Franklin say, I built this shit. Me, brick by brick. Like that's the type of energy you gotta be on. And even with other men, it's like, we cool. I mean, like everything cool. Like I'm a good guy. Like I'm a nice guy. Like I'm kind to people. But if you cross that line, like it ain't nothing to get it sparked up. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't gonna be no disrespect. That's what you gotta get. That's your masculine edge. That's what always keeps you on your toes in this world to make sure you ain't getting messed over by nobody out here. Male, female, anybody, friends, family, anybody in this life. Your masculine edge is what's gonna save you from all that. But it takes balls, it takes backbone to have it, because you're gonna be in opposition to some people just by default, how they exist and how you exist. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta stand on your respect at all times. And getting that masculine edge, it comes first with self-love. And self-love for a man starts with self-accountability, because it takes you first to look at the good situations in your life and the bad situations and accept the role that you played in both. On the good side, you're looking at, okay, like, dang, that was a good decision. Like, that served me well in my future life. Because it helped you looking at the good side, because now this is building your confidence, it's building your belief, your knowledge in yourself, because now you're looking at, okay, like I did that one time, I can do it again, but I can do it bigger this time, and bigger and bigger and bigger. And we'll go to the bad side. Now you're looking at, okay, how could I have handled it differently? Okay, I see why I made a mistake. I see why I should have listened more than I was talking. And as hard of a pill as that is to swallow, once you take it, it's gonna be the best medicine you ever took, because now you're over that obstacle. You're over that obstacle of your own ego. So now, this is where the self-love starts to build, because you look at yourself in totality. So it is nothing to be uncovered. There's no dust under the rug that you gotta get. Like everything is clean. It's like giving yourself a clean slate. And now you can start to look at the parts of yourself that, like I was talking about the good side, like you can look at the good side in with an authentic feeling within yourself, and you can grow off of it, because self-love is what I call it in the series. I call it a garden, because everything a man does in his life will grow from that self-love, because it's done in an authentic way. And I talked about how just like somebody growing their own food, they growing enough for their sustenance. They're growing without the rush of mass production like food companies do. So they taking the lessons of each day and compiling them, you know, taking their time to grow and really advance in life. And they're doing it without the toxicity of validation and vanity that will come from other people accepting who they are and what they built. Just like food companies use pesticides and chemicals to grow the food fast and to kill bugs and stuff, but it's toxic to people eating it. That's the same way. When you growing your own, when you growing your identity from that place of self-love, it's coming back to you in the form that will serve you best. So once you now have a grip on this self-identity, this is what I talk about in the series. It graduates to what I like to call the apex aura, because now your self-identity becomes weaponized. Because in this life, it's a jungle. You know what I'm saying? We people, but as we can see with the stuff that goes on every day, like people turn into animals real quick when they feel like their basic needs ain't being met, or something just go wrong in their brains. They'll do anything to have those needs met. So the apex aura is about you as the man that's self-actualized and knows who he is. Now, you also got to take that and take the responsibility that comes with it. You become an apex predator out here in this human jungle. And if we look at apex predators like lions, tigers, bears, wolves, they all play a critical part in their respective environments, because they not only keep certain lesser animal populations in check, but they also do a lot to keep other predators in check. Like lions and hyenas, they fight all the time, but like we saw in The Lion King, like, and it may be some scientific evidence that displays the fact that it's a kids movie, but just like it happened in The Lion King, like when the lions lost control, the hyenas wreaked havoc on the land. So they ate up all the animals, like, and because they ate up all the animals, the grass stopped growing, the water ran out, just different stuff started happening in the environment. It crumbled because the ones that was at the top of the food chain were removed from power. So when we look at the real world, the real animal world, the human world, I'm saying, it's the same thing. When the men with the strength to destroy evil are eliminated, then evil just runs rampant. It's a quote out there that says exactly that. It goes something like, the only thing that evil needs to succeed is for good men to do nothing. And that's so true. And that's where the Apex Aura comes into play, because after you've taken that journey of self-actualization, self-accountability, self-love, then finding self-identity, now you got to weaponize it, because no matter how good we want to think people are out there in the world, just as it's people that's genuinely good, people that's genuinely bad. And it's also people that may not be genuinely bad, but they have such little perspective on life that they pretty much in the same boat, because they're willing to do anything. They don't have any integrity of character or sense of self, so therefore they don't have any sense of others and how important it is to cultivate positive relationships. So they're just willing to do anything to get the things they want out of life. And that, by default, that makes them dangerous. As weak and as lame as a stance that is to have as a man, it's still a dangerous, that man is still dangerous, you know? And being the man that I'm talking about, you have to keep these kind of men in check. Sometimes just by your presence, you gotta let it be known that weak shit won't be tolerated around me, you know? And I got other people that think like me, so tread lightly. Like, you gotta let that be known. But that's where that Apex Aura comes from, because now you realize your place. Now you intentionally raising the collective frequency around you in your environment. So you putting parameters in place to eliminate the weak shit, to eliminate the dangerous shit that'll come from weak men. And in the last part of that series, like I just talked about, you got to deal as a man, when you get to that self-realized place, you got to deal now in regulated risk. So you got to take it upon yourself to train yourself for the things that, the threats that you know exist. You got to do martial arts, you got to box, you got to do tactical situations with airsoft, paintball, learn your weapons, learn how to handle them, learn how to clean them, learn how to do everything with them. Everything you can learn that will serve you as a means of protection for you and those around you, you got to take it upon yourself to get familiar with it. Because you never know when you're going to need it. And it ain't really a matter of if, it's when. Like, we be seeing it every day, like how these people be shooting up schools. They ain't got no mercy. Oh no, they killing kids, old people, anybody, you know what I'm saying? So you seeing the reality of the world and its viciousness, you got to position yourself to be the one that can oppose, that's capable of opposing. Because everybody want to go against evil, but everybody is not capable. So you get into that journey within yourself. Now you take on a new responsibility, but it's all organic. You know what I'm saying? You ain't trying to jump up. You ain't probably just jump up like a hero. You just naturally bring an order by the order you bring in your own life, if that makes sense. And all this ties into your masculine edge, because it's something that every man doesn't have, like I've been saying. And the masculine edge is the only thing that's gonna save you over and over and over again, because it's gonna give you an instant look at reality. You ain't gonna waste no time thinking about what could be and how you want things to be. You just look at it for what it is, and then you adjust accordingly. And having that masculine edge is what takes you to that next level in life as a man. Like, I know I'm talking about all these negative situations, but it also serves you ultimately in the long term of your life, because people appreciate realists. They appreciate authenticity, you know? So the more you practice being your real self and practicing that out in the world, it's gonna take you places that you could never imagine. Like me, for instance, like I'm sitting here making content, but for the longest, I couldn't get over the humble. I didn't like how my voice sounded. I didn't like seeing myself on camera like a lot of content creators do. You know, but whole time I'm having people like telling me, man, you should like, telling me I'm good looking, that they like my voice, they like the way that I explain things, so on and so forth. But I couldn't get over my own attachment to the need for other people to validate, you know, because as much positive stuff as people were saying, I was just thinking about the negative stuff people were saying. So I couldn't even serve the world how I needed to because I couldn't get over myself, you know. But once I did, it started to serve me, and it took that masculine edge to do so, because I was kind of like, shit, I'm me, like, and I like me, I like who I am, and I'm gonna improve who I am, you know. And other people, I mean, if they like it, cool. If they don't, they don't. Like, whatever, I'm still me. And because I took that step over and jumped in front of this camera, now I'm getting crazy opportunities that I never would have imagined. I'm getting paid to sit in front of this camera and talk about my life experiences. I'm getting sent free stuff all the time, and companies also paying me on top of it to shape my life experiences around it. I'm getting to talk about my life experiences and help men out here, help men and women, but mostly men, just because it's so noisy out here when it comes to us, because you got the red pill community, the blue pill, black pill, purple pill, like you got all these little communities that's telling me what to focus on, but it's very few of us that's out here talking about it in a holistic perspective. And going through my life and sharpening my masculine edge, I not only got more aware to that holistic experience in the life of a man and how mine looked, but I also got more comfortable in conveying it. Because like I said earlier in the video, like becoming an attractive man don't just make everything peachy. So just in the same regard, speaking that truth, everybody don't agree with you, and some people gonna come against you, but because I got a masculine edge, I don't give a damn. Like, they can come on, you know, and I'm gonna get back at them sometimes when I feel like it. And that's just what it is, you know what I'm saying? But, and I said all that to say, like, that's the way that my masculine edge is serving me actively, like right now. And I want the same for you. And before I close out, it's another analogy that I made a video about. You can check that one out too. I talked about how you gotta have vision and foresight as a man, and I made the analogy of a running back and a safety. And vision is more so like short term, like you gotta be able to, like, you know, the objective. Like, of course, for a running back, it's to score a touchdown. That's the ultimate objective. And you gotta design play to do that. But we know the nature of football, you got other people on the other side that's opposing you. So that hole might close up. So you might have to cut back, you might have to hurdle, you might have to stiff arm. You might have to do a lot of stuff to still obtain your objective, but it ain't just gonna happen perfectly. So you gotta have vision to do that. You gotta have the ability to quickly pivot and quickly adjust to the nature of life, how life does, or how life naturally goes. And then I made the analogy of foresight, which is more like being a safety, because a safety is on defense. So he got to read the offense, look at the formation of the offense, look at the down and distance, look at the eyes of the quarterback, look at everything before the play. And then when the play starts, now he has to put himself a step ahead. He has to kind of have to think about the intentions of his own and those around him to position himself in front of opportunities that otherwise might not come his way, like the ball getting thrown to the receiver, not to the safety. So the safety got to read how the formation is moving so he can position himself and take it, intercept it, break it up, do whatever, make the tackle. And I brought that up because think about the aggressiveness it takes to play football. That's like your masculine edge. It's like you come into the game knowing that it's gonna take some aggression to be out here because it's a gladiator sport. But all in all, we all got different positions on the field that we play, but that aggressiveness is underlying. So you got to have that for anything else to work, no matter what position you play. And that's like the game of life. It's the same exact way. Your masculine edge is required for everything. Then you go out and then you get into the little nuances of life, but you come to it with that masculine edge as the foundation. But fellas, I didn't want this to be too long. It went long anyway. I had to get it out though. Y'all jump down in the comments if you hadn't already. Like, subscribe, stay in touch with me, man. Follow me on IG. You know, let me know what y'all thought about this long form topic. Let me know any improvements you want me to make on the way I'm conveying this. And anything else you want me to talk about. Like, I'm very open to talking about different topics that you guys send me or whatever. and because I really want us to have some honest conversations, more honest conversations, because it's not a lot of it. So, yeah, man, I appreciate y'all. Everything y'all send me, my DMs, my emails, all that. Y'all keep reaching out, and we're going to keep elevating, fellas. Stay up, though, out here. Peace.